What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again with the next Brawl Stars video. Today we're going to be helping out the newer people. Oh my god, people.
Yo, is that what Lex said? Isn't that what Lex said?
No, P-Apple. He said P-Apple. What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again with the next Brawl Stars video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 18 brawlers currently in the game to see which of these are the top 3 ones for the beginners. Here with me today is Alex with DoingLifeGaming that's going to be assisting me with breaking it down. Alex, how are we doing today, boss?
Good, Childish. Thank you so much for having me on this video, my man.
Yeah, definitely. So, if you guys are new to the game, welcome to the Brawl Stars community. This game is a 3v3 MOBA that brings on board 18 different brawlers that you can use in one of the 5 game modes in order to conquer these stages. We have so many different brawlers to look at, but of course, who is the best one? Who is the worst one? Who do we feel is the top 3? That's what we're going to go ahead and get into today. With regards to the criteria, we are going to be looking at the skill cap of these monsters, the versatility of these monsters, as well as how strong they compare with their counterparts and whatnot. So with regards to the first one on our list, we're going to be talking about Shelly, the one that we actually started with. So Alex, tell me a little bit about Shelly. What do you think about her?
So I think this is no surprise that we put Shelly as the first best brawler for beginners, as Supercell themselves made Shelly the very first character that you ever get to play as. And I don't think that's a coincidence at all. I think Shelly, her damage and her health, she's just so versatile. She can literally be plugged into absolutely any game mode, as far as Brawl Ball or Heist or Bounty or Smash and Grab. Any map, any game mode, she almost always will work in. Now, she recently got some nerfs where they brought her down a little bit. She used to be overpowered, but now she's at a perfect place, and she's a perfect character for you to start as. Her damage output is quite fantastic. If you can get really close to a brawler, you can knock them out. Some of them you can almost one-shot. Most of the time, you can usually two-shot a character. Her ultimate is what really makes her shine, however. With her ultimate, she shoots out a really long blast, which not only damages the enemy for quite a bit of damage, but it also stuns and knocks back a character. Her ultimate is arguably the best ultimate in the entire game itself. A lot of people complain about it. A lot of people even ask that her ultimate knockback and stun be taken away. But I think that's what makes Shelly so iconic and such a valuable character for you to play as. Her damage and her health is so forgiving to you that even if you may mess up, her damage can carry you, and even her health can carry you.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more here. That knockback plus stun effect, I believe, is the only brawler currently in the game that has that ability on the super.
Yeah.
So, with regards to the other ones that kind of fit her role, the Bulls, the Primas, and whatnot, why is Shelly so much better than those particular brawlers?
Awesome. Great question. So, for me personally, I don't really like playing short-range characters that much, but I think Shelly is a great short-range character versus the Primo and the Bull, as she actually outranges both Primo and Bull. So her, as far as her shot goes, she can actually kite, she can actually damage the character. So she can hit a Bull and a Bull can't hit her as long as she's not too close. Same thing with the Primo. So that is a huge bonus of picking Shelly over a Primo or a Bull. But on top of that, as we come back to it again, her ultimate just shines compared to the other two. Now, the only ultimate that would come close in the short range category would, of course, be Primo, as his ult, he jumps across the map and kind of does this stun knockback of other characters. So it's not the same as Shelly's stun knockback, but it is very similar and is also quite an amazing ultimate. But I think Shelly's ultimate, it just puts out so much damage on top of the stun and the knockback that it just outshines Primo's ult, and then, of course, outshines Bull's special, which only his special just lets him charge across the map, which can be good in certain circumstances, but Shelly's ultimate just works in every situation possible.
Definitely. She is an amazing tank indeed. Now, with regards to the second 2 brawlers we're going to talk about, the next one kind of fills the role of that support character, providing a lot of good support with regards to your team. The next one we're going to be looking at is the super rare brawler. We got Poco. Tell me a little bit about Poco. Why is he so good, Alex?
Now, I'm going to be honest here. I might be a little bit biased, but Poco is probably one of my most favorite characters. He first off, before we even get into anything else, he is just such a fun character to play. Poco's regular attacks shoot out in kind of this massive cone. In fact, he probably has the widest attack range in the entire game. And what's really great about that, especially as a beginner player, is that what's so critical in Brawl Stars is that you hit your shots. And if you hitting your shots can make or break you as a player, make or break the game itself that you're in. So with Poco, he has just such forgiveness with his attacks that even if you might have misaimed a little bit, because of how wide his attack range is, you still have quite a good chance of hitting a character. On top of that, with his range being so long, which actually starts to make him not overpowered, but quite strong, is that he can hit multiple people with one regular attack shot that he shoots out. So if they're all clumped up with one shot, which can do up to 200 damage if you have his attack maxed, he can hit 200, 400, so he can hit a total of 600 damage with just one shot, and that's absolutely insane. That would be more damage than any single character can output with a single shot. So if you play Poco correctly, he can devastate the other team. On top of that, he also has quite good health. His health isn't too low. And then his ultimate also is very forgiving to you as a new player. His ultimate heals your teammates. Now, his ultimate used to heal the turret and the bear and the healing unit that Pam places down, but it no longer heals those. It only heals you and your teammates, but that's still okay. His ultimate still does quite a bit of healing, and on top of that, they just buffed his healing special, so it heals even more now. So the combined effort of his regular attack range plus his ultimate just makes him probably the most forgiving character to play, and is great for you to pick up to start learning how to play Brawl Stars in itself, how to move around the map, how to hit shots, stuff like that. So I think he almost could be placed above Shelly, but I think Shelly's just a little bit more versatile, and that's why I place her in the #1 position.
Definitely, yeah. This brawler here is just simply amazing, as you already stated. And when the game first came out, I actually was fortunate enough to get it really early on. And between Shelly and Poco, I literally played all my maps with that because, again, the skill cap is just so good. It allowed me to get a lot of trophies early on. Early on in the game, though, it was the defensive type of support-based brawler that provided that heal. With the recent addition of Pam, the epic brawler, we now have a unit to kind of compare with Poco. In your particular situation, you value Poco over Pam. Why is that?
Great question. Well, first off, yeah, as far as getting Poco, I'm a little bit jealous because I remember when I first started the game, all I wanted to get was a Poco, and he would not come out of those boxes no matter what I did. It took me, he was almost one of the last brawlers I got when we first started playing the game. So congrats to you on that. But as far as Poco versus Pam, I think it really depends, number one, on the situation. If you would ask me who to pick over one of the two, it depends on the map and the team comp, because Pam and Poco both have their strengths and weaknesses. I think Poco overall is a better beginner character to pick up, as his attack range is longer and as his ultimate is more forgiving. And here's what I mean in that sense. Pam's ultimate, you place a unit down on the ground and it creates this healing radius where if you're in the radius, you and your teammates are getting healed constantly. But here's where it comes as an issue if you're a beginner player. If you place that turret incorrectly, you just wasted that heal in itself, and you might not even get any value out of it. Where Poco's heal, you can heal everybody in one shot. You have a more likely chance of getting that heal out to your teammates. If you place Pam's healing unit, for example, let's say all the way over to the left or something, and your entire team gets pushed over to the right, that unit just became useless to you. Same thing if maybe you place it too far up on the map and the enemy team snipe it out in 2 shots and you didn't get any value out of it. So I think Pam can be better than Poco in certain circumstances, but as far as picking up a brawler as a beginner, I think Poco is just going to be an easier option for you and an easier unit to grab, as Poco is a super rare and Pam is an epic.
Definitely. So take a look at both Shelly and Poco. We got our tank, we got our support base healer. Now we're going to be kind of filling in that last spot with a mid-range kind of brawler that's going to provide a lot of great splash damage and kind of crowd control. Out of all the ones that we took a look at, we believe that Barley is going to be fitting that role. Alex, what do you think about this unit? Why do you think it's just so good?
Okay, so as far as Barley goes, I think Barley is very aptly placed as the third one, as Barley has a little bit more of a skill cap than Poco or Shelly. His attacks are a little bit less forgiving than Poco and Shelly. In fact, a lot less forgiving. So if you as far as Barley goes, when you throw out an attack, he ignores walls in the sense that you can throw over, whereas normal characters, they shoot out from them. He can throw up and over. So he's a great beginner unit for you as far as being able to reach enemy characters over, that may be trying to hide behind walls, for example. So his attacks throw out, and then they create this, I call it a poison area of effect. I don't actually know what it is. It's like alcohol or something. I don't really know. I call it poison. And so he places this poison on the ground, and if the enemy steps over it, they start getting ticks of damage over time. And what really makes Barley shine is he outputs an insane amount of damage, not only with his regular attacks, but along with his ultimate. His ultimate could arguably be the most devastating ultimate. Not the best, but the most damage outputting ultimate in the entire game. He throws out, I don't even know the number, but he throws 10, 12, 14, whatever amount of those regular attack bottles onto the ground, creating this gigantic radius of damage, and not only denying a ton of area on the map, but also dealing a ton of damage if the enemy happens to be inside of it. But what's also great about that ultimate is that he can throw it very, very concise, concentric in like one particular spot, and take all that damage that would be spread out and put it into one area. So, for example, if a Mortis is chasing you as a Barley and you place it right on top of the Mortis when he's next to you and he's out of dashes, that Mortis is going to get shredded down and killed completely. So his ultimate can be used to deny area, but it can also be used really, really closely as well. And that's something that you can learn very well as a Barley as you're playing him. He also is quite decent health, quite decent attack, and he is probably the hardest of the three of these brawlers to pick up, but still not that hard to pick up, and his damage is going to carry you and take you places.
Definitely cool. And with regards to his kind of counterpart, his dynamic duo, Dynamite, no pun intended there, tell me a little bit about that monster, and why do you feel Barley got the edge over Dyna in most situations?
Okay, so for me personally, I kind of like playing Mike more than Barley, but I will not deny that Mike is a harder to play than Barley. With Mike's attacks, his regular attacks throw out 2 Dynamites onto the ground, and it's harder to hit and predict where the enemy is going to be with a Dynamite than a Barley. And here's what I mean. When you place down Barley's attack, it creates this poison on the ground, and it stays there for a few seconds. With Dynamite, you throw out the Dynamites, they explode, that's it. So if you happen to miss, or you might be slightly off as a Dynamite, your Dynamites just don't do any damage. As a Barley, there's still a chance for the enemy to have to run over your attack a couple seconds later after you've thrown it down. So there's a little bit of forgiveness with Barley's attack over Dynamite's attack. Now, also with Dynamite's ultimate, he throws out a gigantic bomb, but it's in a small radius compared to Dynamite's ultimate. So Dynamite can deny a lot more area than, Barley can deny a lot more area than Dynamite can, but Barley can also, like I said, bring his ultimate into a really small radius, just like Dynamite. So he kind of does the job of Dynamite, and he can also do more by having a larger radius. And I think that's why Barley has an edge over Dynamite and is also slightly easier to play as a beginner player.
Definitely. Wow. Tons of information there. Thank you so much for providing that. Now, because some of the people that have never seen maybe my YouTube channel as well as yours, I do want to give a big shout out to you for providing so much educational content on your channel. So again, guys, if you are tuned in and have subscribed to Alex with DLG Doing Life Gaming, go ahead and hit the information circle up top, as well as check out the YouTube description down below if you need the link on that. But let's go ahead and leave them with that final tip. If there was one thing that you can tell to the newer player that's coming into the Brawl Stars world, what would that be and why?
Awesome. This is something that I still remind myself with, and it's stop spamming your shots so much. Stop spamming them. Hold on to them. I know in your mind that you think I gotta throw these attacks out. I'm gonna waste them if I don't use them. But when you actually need them, you don't have them anymore, or you stop yourself from healing. So something, and it's a struggle for me because I still do this. Sometimes I spam my shots too much, and you'll see if you're in the live streams with me. But stop yourself. Remind yourself, let every shot count, and just slow down a little bit. Get a little bit better at predicting those shots. The more value you get out of your shots, the faster you charge your super, the faster you're destroying the team, and the faster you're climbing in trophies.
Yes, well said, well said. I'm in the same boat as well. I have a constant issue of spamming shots, and I think it was you as well as Lex that I recently watched some videos where you guys took the time to actually step back, get a couple of those closer shots in with units like the top one that we have for you today, Shelly, that actually was able to not only do more damage, but like you said, be able to recharge that super just that much faster. So well stated, sir. Thank you again so much for stopping on by to make this video with me. I do appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. It was such a blessing to be here. Thank you for having me on this.
Well, all right, guys. Thank you all so much for your support. If you have any other questions with regards to beginner tips, anything that we can provide for you, please put it in the comment section down below, and Alex and I will be more than happy to go ahead and check out those comments after the video has been published, all right? Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's your boy Childish or ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and we will see you next time. We're out.
See ya.
Check this out.